what do you think, and you've spoken about this several times, but I want to dig a little into this. It's like, what do you think makes Telugu cinema, because everybody looks at Telugu cinema as the spearhead of pan-Indian cinema, which is right, because had the two Bahubali movies not happened, what we call pan-India cinema today, dubbed into various languages, that probably would not be where it is today.
Sure.
What do you think is special about this industry, even though the success rate keeps going up and down and certain intended to be pan-India films do not work and all that happens, but what's making the industry tick?
We don't have cultural considerations when we love cinema. I think that's our main thing.
Okay.
Like, we don't believe a story should be told a certain way.
Okay.
We are okay with anything from anywhere. We'll make a Loka a success. We'll make a Hindi Animal a success. We'll make a Telugu Dhurandhar a success. Like,
I heard that the Telugu Dhurandhar Part 2 is the biggest dubbed hit since Dangal.
Yeah.
That's somebody told me this.
See, that's exactly what I'm saying. Imagine I'm a Telugu guy from Rajahmundry. I'm watching a film set in Pakistan or in Punjab. How do I even know about Liari? So at the end of the day, I think we love good stories, and I think that's not. It's the greatness of the audience, but it's also what filmmakers curate for the audience. Like, you get people used to something. If I'm going to get the audience only used to Bandi Chinese, the day you suddenly feel them gourmet food, they're going to feel like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So we as Telugu audiences, we've always watched stuff from everywhere. We have no commercial considerations, no cultural considerations. Now, I can't tell you the number of times when we were shooting Major, because that was my first Hindi foray. Bollywood mein aisa nahi hota hai, Sesh, was a term I would hear all the time.
Like, supposing you did something little larger than life or something like that?
No, it doesn't have to be. It just has to be something that they don't like. And when I say they, I don't mean them broadly. It would have been that person.
Yeah.
But they will use it in Bollywood mein aisa nahi hota. I think that's the nature of who Telugus are. Like, we will go anywhere. We'll allow anybody to come to us. And I say that with pride.
Right.
And people think, bhasha mein garvam ledra. It's not that. I think we love our language, we love our culture. But I think if you look at, out of any city in India, Hyderabad is probably the most easygoing of the cosmopolitan cities. You'll not have a particular, hey, you, us happening in Hyderabad.
That's what keeps the industry ticking.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And why does this industry consistently make the biggest budgeted films? How is that happening?
Because we didn't let the studio system come into us.
Okay.
And it wasn't by choice. It's not like we are super smart and we decided that. It was just like, okay, so this happened during Major, and I was having an argument with an employee at Sony, and I was just going, why don't you understand? Why don't you understand that this project, his parents, Sandeep's parents, this and that, I'm just going on and on about it. And he suddenly goes, because Sesh, it doesn't change my life even if this movie is a hit. And he just kind of broke down, and he just suddenly said, and he suddenly stopped. I said, that's when I realized. It's like, yaar, picture hit hogi to shayad chota sa bonus milega, my salary remains the same. Oh. So a Telugu producer who comes from the village, or comes from the US, or comes from Australia, or is a Hyderabad real estate guy, he put one project on hold, took his money from mining or from real estate or from IT company or whatever, and he put it there and he said, this is my money. I'm emotionally invested in making a profit.
Right.
And getting my name out there as somebody who was a patron of good cinema. These are the two requirements for Telugu producers. That requirement isn't there for the other guy. Because he said he's working for his salary. And that is fundamentally the reason why Telugu cinema takes bigger risks. We fall harder as well. But we have the biggest hits for that reason.
Because of, can I use that often used word, passion?
No, passion is everywhere, Baba. Like,
right.
When I go to Bombay, the kind of filmmakers and actors I meet, the best of the country is there, because you're coming from all cultures into one place.
Yeah.
More so than here. Because cultures from Assam, Kashmir, Tamil Nadu. I was speaking to the paparazzi there, half of them are Telugu.
Yeah. In Bombay.
Yeah. So, but I think the difference is that the studio system never came into Telugu. They just couldn't crack it. And that ended up keeping that 90s Hindi producer thing alive for us here. In the 90s, it would just be some guy from Chembur producing a movie. And he would have his farm in Punjab that he probably mortgaged at the bank. And
So once people started seeing the bottom line, or if they begin seeing the bottom line about everything, then filmmaking becomes a little problematic, you think?
if your focus on the bottom line is to ensures your personal well-being, then you're automatically more passionate and invested in the film. And if it doesn't change your life much because it's a salary, you're less invested. That's what the reason is. That's been my learning.
So you are making Dacoit because you believe in the project,
Absolutely.
and it's not just a I want a hit kind of situation.
No.
Okay.
No. I spent a year and a half writing. Why did I spend so much time writing Runal's character? Now, see, the thing is, you try. I'm not saying that every time I'll succeed.
Yeah.
I might fail. I might lose a lot of money.
No, the trial is what's important.
Yeah, but the attempt, it has to come from a place of pure honesty. And there's nothing other than we want to tell a great story in the most interesting way. And I love that despite it being backed by Annapurna Studios and all, it's still a personal investment from a producer.
Right.
You know, like Supriya Garu and Sunil Narangaru.
When you say this, and when you also say that we also fall hard, why do those, of late, we've been seeing a lot of, it's been happening in Tamil, it's been happening in Telugu. I take these two industries because these are the big, commercial film industries, right?
Yeah.
Many of the bigger stars, their movies have not been doing, they've not been guaranteeing this. Earlier it used to be like at least 3 days you'd have a house full of shows or whatever it is. That's not been happening as much. Do you think it's just a phase where they're not choosing the right films, or?
There's always cycles, Baddy.
Okay.
When I first came to the movie business, people were saying, dude, films are dying. Piracy is ravaged us. You get a VCD before the matinee show starts, after the morning show.
That's still happening, right?
No, this was when I first moved to India.
Okay.
VCDs were the rage. And you get the VCD, or then you get it on MP4 drives. That MP3, MP4 drives.
Or Telegram.
Yeah. Then.
Yeah.
Now it's Telegram. And there was no digital then. So, and satellite was dying. So people are like, "Arey, films are dying, films are dying." And then Bahubali happened. And then film rose. And if you look at 2018, I was part of that extraordinary cultural time where 16 I had Kshanam, 18 I had Gudachari, 19 I had Yavaru. Like that golden period directly happening because Bahubali went so massive. 16 to 20 was a golden period in Telugu cinema where so many kinds of beautiful films. Everything from, can you imagine an Aravinda Sameta, a Mahanati, a Gudachari, a Chila So, a Brocheva Revarura, all in the same year?
Yeah.
Like, look at that quality. So, and any other year, Gudachari would have won some big award, but how do you go up against Mahanati? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that cycle always happens. And we had a lovely boom in 22. Telugu had a boom where suddenly RRR happened. Our own major happened. We had lovely, big blockbusters. Like KGF 2 was a huge hit even in Telugu.
Yeah.
Like on par, if not bigger than other industries. So I just feel like that dip and thing is true for anybody. And now, for example, Hindi, like my friend Aditya, he directed Durandar. And
yeah. What do you think of the film?
I loved part 1. I haven't seen part 2
Right.
because I've been busy with the Dacoit.
Yeah.
I loved part 1.
Yeah, and I think any film that creates that kind of a ripple in the cultural consciousness, there's something happening there. There's otherwise you get hits all the time, but something that genuinely
Changes culture.
yeah,
Absolutely.
or kind of a thing. I think that kind of a thing.
Absolutely. No, that's a once in a generation thing. That's the Shivas, the Sholays, the Durandars. That's a once in a generation. The Bahubalis.